Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I am Ken Walls and I'm your host, and I have an amazing guest on the show today. He is the CEO of Banner Season and he's a good friend of mine and I'm excited. Welcome, Mr. Joe Kenemore. How you doing today, dude?
I'm doing fantastic. Are you ready to handle my energy this morning?
I think I am. I
Okay,
believe
got a
I
cup
am.
of coffee here just in case I need to bracket it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think I need some more coffee this morning. So like I told you, I've interviewed a couple hundred people now, celebrities, entrepreneurs from all over the world, and this show literally I created it to give back to the world, to help people get unstuck. There's a lot of people that get stuck and don't know what to do, and I know you've been there, and I'm excited for you to share your story. So why don't we start with, where were you born and raised?
Ooh, I was born in Whittier, California, and raised pretty much in Southern California. Spent a few years in Missouri myself, but as a kid, those were the two places.
Misery, did you say?
Yeah, no, yeah, Missouri, but yeah, it could be that in the summertime, in the humidity, or the wintertime when it's freezing but cold. Oh yeah, you could be in misery there, no doubt about
It can be. I've been there.
it. I
So
learned a
so
lot.
where did you so you went to like school, high school, all that in California or Missouri?
I did in high school, Corona Del Mar High School. Graduated in '83,
Okay.
and quickly decided to move to the military and join the United States Navy.
Did you really?
I
Nice.
absolutely did and loved every minute of it. It's one of those things I would do again, but glad I didn't stay any longer than I did.
Yeah. Yeah. How long were you in the Navy?
I did a little over 5 years of active duty.
Wow. Very
Yeah,
cool. My
well,
brother was in the Navy.
yeah, it
As
was
a
a great.
matter of fact, my nephew literally just graduated like 2 weeks ago. Graduated from Great Lakes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome for him.
yeah, just got out of boot camp. So you were in the Navy. Did you travel the world?
Well, it was Cold War time, so we were still staring at the Russians, and I was on a really small ship that really just kind of did anti-submarine warfare between, well, kind of the Pacific Ocean, pretty much.
Wow.
Mostly northern Pacific, where it was damn cold and windy and uncomfortable, but it was all good. I really had a good time no matter what, because we did go down to Mexico too, where it was nice and warm.
Yeah, yeah. So you've been around the world ish.
I've seen some countries, I've seen some things
Yeah,
in my life, no doubt
yeah.
about it.
So you got back from the Navy, did you end up going to college?
No, sir. No, I barely graduated high school. School was not for me. Still, well, actually, I love education. I love learning. I just like to learn things that I need to know versus things that I don't need to know or may not never ever need to know. So
Right,
yeah, yeah,
right.
absolutely. I like to school myself and just get in, dig in, learn what I need to learn. I have no problem shortcutting that and hiring an expert either. I've been down both roads, and sometimes hiring the expert's the way to do it.
Yeah, sure, sure. So you didn't go to college. You got out of the Navy and became the CEO of a giant company and lived happily ever after.
Yep, that's exactly how it happened.
All
Boy,
right, cool. Well, thanks for being on the show, man. That was easy.
I know, huh? Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I got out of the military. My training in the military I was a visual communicator, or what we called skivvy waivers. We had flags, we knew semaphore. We were responsible for quite a few things, but it was all visual communication. Those big Morse code and those big lights you've seen on
Yep.
those old movies.
Yep.
Yeah, the rate doesn't even exist anymore. They don't use signalman anymore. It's just a lost cause. It was the only form of secure communication
Yeah.
back in the day, because radios could be intercepted too easily. But anyway, I got out of the military and I had really no marketable skills. So with the exception of I could get up in the morning, get to work on time, and be dressed appropriately, which is more than I can say for half of America at this point. Anyway, I had some skills.
Right. Right.
I really didn't know what to do with myself at all. Both of my brothers were doing the same thing. They were repossessing cars. And they just were like, bro, you got to come do this. It's exciting. It's fun. You can make some money. And I'm like, well, gosh, I think I was married and had 2 kids by now and out of the military making no money.
Right.
Well, what am I going to do? I just knew I didn't want to be in the military anymore. So I ended up doing that for about 1.5 years, 2 years. And that was a very interesting job.
Repossessing cars?
Well, here's the deal. I was the guy who would wear a tie to work. So I actually got work from Mercedes-Benz Credit and GM Financial and only their high-end cars. So for me, it wasn't, I'm not going to say I didn't roam around in the middle of the night with a black tow truck, taking people's stuff that didn't pay for them. But, for the most part, I was a little more, zip it up and go see somebody in the daytime, knock on a door, anyway. I did what I had to do my job.
You wore a shirt and tie to repossess vehicles.
Boy, did I.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to put you in like the only person on the planet that does that.
I did very, very well. No, there was a couple there was kind of these middle ground folks that were out knocking on doors too. But, really when the rubber met the road, you know what I mean? They'd hand me a key to the car and say, go get it. And, for the most part, if you looked like you belonged there, which meant you were wearing a tie and a shirt, you could pretty much walk up to anything you want and take anything you want. And nobody be the wiser.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's incredible.
I can tell you this: I've been shot at, spit on, beat on. People tried to run me over. There's some craziness in that world for sure. My brothers did it forever. One of my brothers still does it.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I think he's managing like 20 repossessors right now in Southern California.
Oh
so, yeah, it was a crazy time. I was happy to leave that space and go do something else and move along. You know what I mean?
So you became a professional repossessor of high-end vehicles, and
pick locks and do some other stuff.
You learned how to pick locks. Is that what you said? Oh
Nothing is safe. Nothing.
So those are some incredibly marketable skills.
Yeah. Okay. It was more about finding people than it was anything.
Yeah. Wow.
But I'll tell you, where I learned my real skill, my people skills, was there. It's hard to even believe this, but when you knock on somebody's door at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning that hasn't been contacted the bank for 4 or 5 months, you get to be a pretty good judge of human character, and be able to respond to them. I always treated people the way they treated me. You come at me nasty, I'm coming back at you the same way. Wow. If you're nice to me, I'm going to be the nicest guy in the world. Promise, we're going to have a nice, clean, meeting here. But when somebody, meet somebody at the door at 3 o'clock in the morning because you haven't paid your car payment or contacted the bank in 6 months, and they start getting pissy with you, it's a pretty easy response to say, hey, the only reason I'm here is because you won't answer your phone. The bank doesn't want the car; they just want you to make a deal with them.
Right.
And, it's just a part of learning. It was a great learning experience for me as far as people skills, how to deal with people. Knowing that I could control the adrenaline when it flowed, I was still in control. I was not the shaky man. You know what I mean? And see they're doing this, you're like, oh, geez, here we go.
They'd start shaking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But there was those times when you felt bad too. The old lady, the older ladies that had lost their husbands and there was no income anymore, and they couldn't. They just couldn't make that car payment. Those are the ones you just kind of went, oh gosh, I can't do this. This is for somebody else. This is another repossessor needs to come do this. I still have a heart.
Oh my God. That definitely sounds like the perfect job for an adrenaline junkie.
Boy, let me tell you. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and you had a wife and children at home, and here you are out getting shot at, spit on, beat up, or at least hit on, and that had to make for some interesting conversation around the dinner table.
Well, let me tell you, the wife liked to go with me at times.
What?
She learned to pick locks. It was a little bit crazy, but yeah, we did everything together. That was just the way it was. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
But dangerous enough, and too many negative interactions with the police, and you're just like, I can't do this anymore. Geez, doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It just just too much of that stuff eventually turns into something bad.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm
I
sure.
was happy to leave there. I moved to St. George, Utah. My wife's my mother-in-law. She'd owned a home there that she couldn't pay for anymore, and she basically said, "Hey, if you want to come and take over the payments, you can have it." I'm like, "Oh, St. George, huh? Okay, we'll give that a try."
Beautiful. That's a beautiful part of the country for sure.
Yeah, it is. It was a really small town back then, 20,000 people, wasn't much going on. I moved there. I had done really well in the repossessor game for that year and a half, 2 years I was in it, and was able to save some money and take it with me. Started a small business that didn't work out, and ended up getting my real first job there for a software company where they had created a 3D animation and special effects software.
Wow.
Yeah, I showed up because I had skills with computers. I knew how Windows 3.1 worked, and back in the day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
12 install disks,
Yeah.
all that craziness. But, I went to work for them. I actually fixed the 6 whole computers they had that they were having problems with. They thought it would take me weeks or a month, and I'm like, it was a day, and I'm done.
They were doing 3D animation on a Windows 3.1 machine.
Well, they were trying. That
Oh,
was the point. It was Micron who had sent the computers for free just to try and get our engineers to use them. But it was a Mac-based platform.
yeah.
And they were trying to figure out how to port it over back in the day, and it was
Wow.
just it was kind of brutal, but it was great software.
Yeah.
I was there for a whole week when the guy who was doing shows quit, and they basically went, well, this guy's got a brain, and he finished that work in like hours instead of weeks or months. We thought, let's see what he does with these events. And I basically worked for them for, I think, the next 3-4 years doing their events. I was doing 28 shows a year. So I would literally come home sometimes and just turn around the next day and leave and go to the next show.
Wow.
Setting up these big booths and helping them, market and sell the software, large booths with live presentations that were happening to big groups, of folks. This was the day back in the day when 3D animation was fresh and new, and nobody really knew what it was. I was co-marketing with Apple and Adobe, and some of these companies back in the day. And it was a really, really great time. I understood who Apple was back then.
Yeah.
And nobody else did. And when I went to my my investor guy and just said, "Hey, I'd like to buy some stock in Apple," and he looked at me and he goes, "Why?" And I said, "Well, I love their platform. I love everything about them. The iPod hadn't even come out yet.
Jeez.
I don't even think I was like 30, 40 bucks a share."
Oh my God. Wow.
And I mean, literally within 6 months, the iPod comes out, everything blows up, and
Sure.
then my guy's calling me back, going, "So, any other companies like that?"
Yeah, right. Wow. That's
I held the
incredible.
stock until maybe 2 years ago, and was like, "All right, I'm done."
Wow. That's incredible. So
Yeah.
you were a pioneer in that industry, so to speak.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed. I learned the platform. I learned how to do 3D animation. I learned special effects. I taught for them in the end. I taught for them in a small classroom in St. George, Utah. 25 seats in the classroom. These were folks artists coming from Hollywood. I'd take them to the Narrows on the third day of the week in Zion's National Park for a hike, and life-changing experience stuff for them.
It's that place is unbelievable.
It
Zion
really.
is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like with all software, unfortunately, they didn't quite keep up with the Joneses, so to
Yeah.
speak. And, the company started to fail. And
Yeah.
my other employment in St. George, Utah, there was another company there that needed me. And it happened to be a network marketing company. And this is where doors were open for me. Lots of doors.
A network marketing company in Utah. That's weird.
In St. George, Utah. That
Yeah.
There was nothing there. 20,000
Right.
people. I mean, geez.
Wow. That's incredible. So you here you are in now you're in a network marketing company as a network marketer or on the in-house team? Uh-oh. Oh, there.
Yeah, I went to manage their events. That's what they hired me for.
Oh, okay.
They had grown to a point where they were still trying to manage their events from within, and it just wasn't working. They needed a professional to come in and just go, "Hey, I'll take this. Gotcha." No more embarrassment for them, by things not being done. When you go to an event and you haven't called an AV company and you arrive, it's a little late in the game for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I learned, boy, did I learn a lot there. I met some folks. I met Eric Laver, who was their number one, field distributor at the time. And I still know him to this day, and I've done business with him since then. Cody Bateman, boy, I literally have a laundry list of folks that I met, at that company.
Wow.
So, yeah, really, really great experience. Ended up being their employee of the year. I wasn't with them long, maybe 3 years. I'm not really employable. 3 years is the max I've lasted outside of the military, but that was a contract. So,
right.
Yeah. But yeah, my employability is just kind of a little bit crazy at times, just because I need that fresh outlook, fresh look on things, and projects to complete, and that kind of thing. Sitting in the same box every day, oof, boy, that can kill me.
Dude, I can so relate to that. Like a couple of things, like the educational thing. Like I remember, I didn't graduate high school. I didn't get a biology credit, and they called me in my senior year, and here I'm taking college prep, analytic geometry, calculus, and acing all of that, right? But I hated biology, and they're like, "You didn't get a biology credit in 10th grade." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, I hated that." And they're like, "Well, you have to have that to graduate." And I'm like, "Why? I'm never dissecting a frog, and I don't care how photosynthesis works. Like,
there you go.
I don't care." And they're like, "Yeah," well, and they wouldn't negotiate with me. So I just said, "Well, then I'm out. Have a nice life." But like, so I can relate to that thing, that whole like, I'm going to go out and get my own education. I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to do my deal.
Oh, yeah. Boy, I have people complain about politics and about the economy and all this stuff. And I look at them in the face and say, listen, I create my own economy and my own happiness. I really don't care what those folks are doing. They could tax me 99% and I will figure out how to make a living.
Exactly.
That's not my concern. I don't care about politics. It's just, I care. I care about what we're going to leave as a legacy to our children. But that I can't be worried by that too much. I have things to do.
I think the greatest legacy you can leave is what you just said. You got to figure it out.
That's it. No, that's exactly right. That's what life's all about. Figure it out.
Just figure it out.
Step aside, step back, take a new look at what's going on, take a new look at your problem, call a friend, ask them to help you look at it, and then, go execute, go make something happen.
Yeah. Dude, I totally agree, man. Totally agree.
Yeah.
So you ended up in the network marketing world in St. George, Utah, as their events.
I did their electronic media.
Okay.
Events both. So this is where I took the next steps in video, which was a camera. Before then, we were showing off software, and there was no humans. And the company had that ephedra-based product back in the day that was making people lose a bunch of weight. So pretty soon, I ended up in the field telling stories, video stories. Really expensive back then. Per finished minute was out of control. What you had to spend to get a video done.
Yeah.
But the effectiveness of a VHS tape back in that day was a highly coveted tool.
Yeah.
And things change. It's no longer a highly coveted tool, and nobody wants to watch your VHS tape or your DVD. They want to be online watching these videos, and the attention span's nil anyway. So you might even get them for a minute if you're lucky.
It's true, man. It's true. I was telling Tom Ziegler, Zig Ziglar's son, he was on the show, and he said that he used to work in the storeroom sending out the VHS. I said, dude, I have some over on. He's like, that might have my fingerprints on them then, and I'm like, I remember that, the Tony Robbins, all of the different people out there selling VHS. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I left that company. They started getting sued because of the ephedra product.
Oh,
And things just started getting a little dicey, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm not really well compensated here in St. George, and I happen to have 5 kids by now.
right.
So like, well, let's go take a look at some of those production companies down in Vegas I've been doing some work for. And I ended up becoming an executive producer for Encore Productions in Las Vegas, Nevada. And what a great job that was. Great fun. Lasted a whole, again, 3 years. And, I'm like, okay, see ya. But by that time, I really knew I was unemployable and needed to be doing my own thing. I had started a company called Cash Media Works out of my garage in I was in St. George, and I was starting to do medical animations, that kind of stuff for side money, to buy toys, digital toys. When I say toys, digital toys, I mean, I needed a new Mac computer, I needed a new camera, I needed some software, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what paid the bills for that kind of stuff, and really, really enjoyed that. Still do. I still have that same, gadget guy, want to know how everything works. I'm the guy who reads the manual at night. I don't read books at night. I read manuals.
Wow.
Yeah. But you know what? You never can understand the full power of a tool until you read the manual.
I agree, man. I agree. So did you learn Adobe Flash?
Oh my God, Adobe Flash. Yes. Yeah, for a minute.
Yeah. Until Steve Jobs killed it. Thanks, Steve. So,
yeah, but I'm glad he did.
Yeah, me too.
At least he was smart enough to see that on the forefront and be done with it.
Yeah,
so,
there were some
Flash
issues.
wasn't even an Adobe product. It was even, prior to that, it belonged to somebody else. Yeah, it's
I was literally on somebody's website the other day. They're running a Flash website still. I'm like, how are you still in business? But anyway, so you, I mean, dude, you've done a lot of stuff. That's amazing. And you, so along the way, you've experienced like nothing but triumphs.
I've had some trials. Matter of fact, my biggest trial just happened, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And really, I've had some things put in my way, no doubt about it. And really, when I went to work for myself is when, real challenges started to show up. Like, okay, my first year I felt I did really good, but now it's about consistency. I hadn't really ran a business consistently like that before, and it was that time for me to do that learning, start writing checks for advertising and start understanding that whole world, and how do I get business, and how do I retain what I have, and how do I grow what I have, and how do I get these new customers through the door, and there is definitely some challenges, and when you look at business and you look at being an entrepreneur, be ready. Those challenges are coming. If you're not challenged doing what you're doing, you probably don't want to be an entrepreneur anyway. So you know what I mean?
Yep.
I was challenged by just having a job and showing up to the same box every day and dealing with corporate politics and somebody telling me how much I was going to make and when I could go on vacation and what my benefits were going to be, and just everything, who I could hire to get the job done. I mean, it was a myriad of things. I understand it a whole lot better now, but it bothered me quite tremendously back in the day to know that, like, this is what I'm doing. I might not be the right guy for this.
I know. I get that. So what are like, I had an employee when I was building my business in the early years. Employee walks into my office as I'm in a meeting. He says, "Hey boss, there's somebody out in the parking lot looking in the windows of your SUV," and I'm like, "Well, tell him to get out of here." He's like, "Well, I would, but he has it blocked with a tow truck." And I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, that was not a fun day. But so I went out and tried to negotiate with him. He's like, yeah, so I've faced challenges, some big challenges where I thought, I'm not getting through this. There's no way. And what are some of the things that in business or that you've faced that you're like, this is it. We go no further from here. This is it. It's over.
Right. My biggest challenge was just a couple of years ago. Let me go back 5 years. 5 years ago, me and my wife, at the time we'd taken a drive up the coast. I think we took about 4 to 6 weeks, just taking a little vacation, going up the coast of California and Oregon and Washington. We came back home, and there was some short-term memory loss going on. And, she hated Western medicine. So I just kind of, forced my hand that day and said, hey, it's time to go visit a doctor today. And we did. They basically gave her went to a quick care. They wrote her this little slip and said, you need to go to the emergency room right now. And of course, she fought me for the rest of the day on that until I got her to the emergency room. So
wow.
When I medicine, the problem was she couldn't remember what she had for lunch.
Oh, wow.
That was my kind of point. I'm like, we have an issue here. I know we're having a conversation, but if you can't remember what you had for lunch, there's something going on. You know what I mean? Neurologically. And anyway, long story short, we found out there was a 72 millimeter brain tumor that she was, hosting, and they removed it. And basically found it was cancerous. Stage 4 melanoma cancer battle from that day forward. And when I say challenge, in life we have crutches, partners, people that help us. And when those people fall or those people wane, it really tests you as a human. I've never, I did lose her, about 2 years ago. And, the struggle for me was I had to go find myself.
Yeah.
We were inseparable for 32 years, absolutely inseparable. We did the business together. We did life together. We did kids together. We were just blissfully unaware that there could be any kind of other problem. And, it came right down to the point of me just kind of starting to ask myself these weird questions like, can you be successful without her? And coming to the realization that I'd never been successful without her. And we had a relationship that was very old-fashioned. I fill the bank account, you spend it. You take care of the business, you take care of the kids. Kind of thing. And it got to that point where all of a sudden I'm single, and I never even checked my mail. And Ken, I'm going to make an admission right now. My electricity got shut off. I didn't know why. So I'm sitting in bed going, how come the light switches don't work? What's going on here? I don't get it. Anyway, I had never been the guy who checked the mail. I didn't know what bill pay was.
And let's put it in perspective, though. You had a lot of money in the bank, like a lot.
Oh, I had plenty. Yeah, I could have covered it. No problem.
It wasn't shut off because you couldn't pay.
No. Just didn't know how to pay them. Like, where's the checkbook? I'm gonna write them a check.
Oh my God, dude.
We don't use checks anymore to pay for bills.
Wow.
Anyway, my electricity got shut off. The gas got shut off. I'm like, holy crap! I guess I'm gonna have to change the way I do things here. But
jeez.
But that challenge, to just be. I have 5 children and 2 grandchildren. My home was noisy, busy all the time. They're all grown, but they were always around, constantly around. And all of a sudden to go from, married, 5 children, busy household to you could literally hear a pin drop. I had to go I went and bought a Sonos system for the whole house just so I could have music in the house. I'm like, this whole quietness thing scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
I've learned a little bit on, some coping mechanisms, which is really music and a few other things. But, those challenges, that challenge is still a challenge for me. I'm still finding those things and finding my way, those firsts that happen, after a loss like that. I'm sure there's plenty of listeners out here that understand exactly where I'm at and what's going on. And cancer is such an ugly thing. I didn't go to work. I literally looked at my brother and said, hey, man, you could shut that thing down and run it. Up to you. Go ahead. And he did. He went and just ran it and took it over, and allowed me to take care of my wife for the 30 months of that cancer battle.
Wow.
And, be right by her side during the whole thing. And that's what I did. And I'm so glad I did. I can't tell you, cancer is a battle that starts, it starts small. It goes away because of a surgery or radiation or some type of therapy, and then it comes back. It comes back a little harder. They take it away, cut it out, radiate it, and it goes away for a while. But when when a doctor tells your significant other that this is the disease that's going to kill you. It may not be tomorrow, and it may not be next year, and it might not even be in the next 10 years, but this is your plight. You kind of look at that and go, okay, it's time to go enjoy life, and stop messing around. Kids are
wow.
something, and that's what we did. She got better. We traveled. It was time to go spend our wealth and enjoy life and just have fun. And that's pretty much what we did. So,
wow, man.
Sick. We were traveling.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
So,
and I have lots of friends who are either currently going through this or have, and cancer will touch everyone eventually.
Yeah.
It's just prevalent in today's day and age.
I just recently lost my my 42-year-old cousin to it, and it was like she had it went into remission. They got it early,
Yep.
breast cancer thing, and
Right.
then it came back, and within 6 months,
Yeah.
that was it, man. And I literally was just at her showing a month and a half ago or so. Sad,
Oh, yeah.
man. It's terrible.
Man, oh man, I tell you what, as a grown man, I don't think I'd cried but maybe 10 times my whole adult life, and all of a sudden it's every day, all day. Like, geez, I'm gonna go cry in the shower for a while. Holy crap.
Yeah.
You just kind of, all of a sudden that's who you are for a while, and
Yeah.
those emotions just take over, and you just find your way. That's it. You just find your way. Eventually, I actually, last year, I think it was about October, I looked at myself in the mirror and just said, hey bro, pity parties are over. It's time to move along. It's time to go do something with yourself. Your children are watching. Your friends are watching. It's time to go be you again, and stop this nonsense. So, but it was healing. I call it nonsense, but it was really healing. I spent a lot of time in the Pacific Northwest by myself in my RV, just kind of relearning who I was and what tripped my trigger, and then trying to figure out what I wanted to do again. Did I want to go back to this production company? And my production company is a beautiful thing. We help so many customers. Most of the people, they ask me, oh, you do production? I said, yeah, and you've probably seen my work, you just didn't know it.
Right.
And that's the truth. If you're in network marketing, you've seen my work, you just didn't know it. We've helped some significantly big brands. But, it led me to this place with banner season.
Yeah.
And my challenge really is what it is. It was my next challenge. These guys that approached me and just said, hey, we started this beautiful thing called Rocket Notes, and, it seemed to be getting a few legs here, and we wanted to start this network marketing, arm called Banner Season. And I kind of looked at it and went, wow, for a guy who needs something to do right now, how's January 1 sound?
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, my friend Demar Zimmerman called me, and then my two partners up there, Jerry Senegar and Justin Biggs, are amazing guys, amazing programmers and architects of digital systems, and have really just handed me just the best system in the world and the best company in the world to manage and run. And now my fight is for entrepreneurs, and helping them, with retention, referrals, and relationships. The one thing I do know about this world and this business life is that there is not one business out there that does not have a retention, referral, or new relationship issue. And I throw recognition in there as well. I like to use R words. Ken, you know that. I'm an R.
Right.
Must be my sailor days. R.
Yeah. So you came, dude, first off, and I've already said this, I'm incredibly sorry for the loss of your wife. I can't even imagine. I mean, nobody can until
No.
Yeah.
No, not after 32 years, being married to your best friend. And, my kids have actually heard others fight now, and they come home like, Dad, I never heard you raise your voice to Mom. Huh? Oh, I just heard some really scary stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, son. But, that's the way life is sometimes. It's not going to treat you fairly. It's going to knock you down. And if you don't get your ass up off the ground and do something about it, you're going to be stuck sitting on the ground doing nothing.
Say that one more time. That is worth repeating.
Oh, goodness. You are going to get knocked down. Ken, you and I are going to get knocked down again.
Yeah.
The question is, will we stay on the ground, or will we pick our asses up, get up, and do something about it? That's the question. And
Amen.
that's, everybody who's out there and you're struggling today, you're suffering today, I can promise you one thing. If you get your ass up off the ground and you do something about your situation, things will change. If you don't, guess what? You're going to be sitting on the ground tomorrow and next week and next month and next year, holding your own personal pity party. And guess what? Nobody gives a shit. It's your pity party. Nobody else's. Who cares? Nobody. So stand up, do something with yourself, get off your butt, go make something happen. I also find that self-talk kills people. If we all understand what we're capable of, me and you, Ken, what we're capable of in an hour is astronomical. Yep. I mean, really, like, whoa, what we're capable of performing. We're not young anymore. We have a lot of knowledge. We're capable of moving mountains now.
Yep.
And, what we're capable of in an hour is really phenomenal. But most people, just one solid hour of good, hard, ethical work, man, you can move things in an hour.
Yeah.
You can move things in 3 hours. You don't have to bust ass for 10 hours a day. I see a lot of these folks, grinding to get, yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad you're working, but I don't know that grinding works. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know, work smarter, be more efficient, do those things you don't like early in the morning, get it over with, just do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I stand with those entrepreneurs today. That's who I'm here for. I'm here to stand in the corner with those entrepreneurs and help them through any of those woes they have in their business when it comes to marketing. I think both of us understand how busy of a world it is out there today and how crazy it is to get the attention of your existing customer alone.
Yeah.
To get their attention, can be impossible. But how about a new customer? How do you get their attention through all this crap? Look through your mailbox. It's nothing but junk.
It's nuts.
Inbox. You don't even want to go there. Messenger, LinkedIn. I mean, you just start pick a platform. I'm bombarded with crap. I don't get on LinkedIn often, maybe once a week.
Yeah.
And I get there, and it's the same thing every time. I show up and I get a bunch of emails from people saying, hey, just wanted to check in and see that you got my last email. Well, I didn't solicit the first one, so why would I look at the second one?
I know. I don't know about you, but I pay LinkedIn the $65 a month for the premium thing, and
Right.
and I question my intelligence every time I see that charge come through. I'm like, why am I doing that? Like,
Right.
It's crazy because I don't use it. I'm like you. I get on there once a week, sometimes less than that. Like, so.
And I'm not knocking the platform.
No,
I'm just
I know.
saying,
Neither am I.
For me, I just kind of look at it and go, well, okay. Well, it's one of those places where, yes, I've gained a few relationships, but not, not like a belly to belly, just having an eyeball to eyeball conversation.
I'm connected to Brian Tracy and Conan O'Brien on LinkedIn, and they
Perfect.
don't know me from Adam. So it's like I mean, there's so much, and this is a segue. I'm setting up a segue for you because I think that this is perfect. There is. I just since you and I have been on here, I see it. I have 14 spam emails in my inbox. I keep seeing them pop in, right? Just since we started 39 minutes ago, and it's like, oh my God. I have 5,000 Facebook friends, 40,000 fans on my fan page, and I have all this just non-stop content coming at me. And you literally today, in today's world, we have to pick and choose. And getting somebody's attention, dude, it's very difficult now to get, especially if you want a big time person's attention, right? Like, and I'm not saying that anybody's greater than anyone else, but right. you know what I mean, right? And that's one of the things that, and this isn't a commercial for Banner Season. This is your life story. But I got to tell you, like, it's one of the things I love about Banner Season is how easy it is to get attention from anybody just by using this. Because I use it.
Yeah, let me put it into context. For those of you struggling to get new business, new relationships in your business, we have an answer. And no, I don't care who you use. I'm just going to tell you what Banner Season does. Go find another company that does the same thing we do. I don't care.
Right.
I'm just telling you, as an entrepreneur, if you've been knocked down and you haven't gotten up yet, and one of those things that you need to get up about is new relationships, new business. Maybe you're pissed off at some of your current customer, but go find some new customers. And one of those things, like you said, how do I get the attention of a new customer? And people think it's a phone call, it's a text, it's an email. Well, I can tell you, ignored. And that's if you're lucky enough to have their phone number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Banner Season, I send out what is called a banner bomb. And what that is 5 or more products from our product line that are all personalized to the person I'm soliciting.
Yeah.
It's a package. Emails don't get 11% of emails get open. 100% of packages get opened. Do the math.
Yep.
If you want somebody's attention, sometimes you have to make that investment. And that investment is maybe buying some personalized product and sending it to them and wait for the response. I've never had it fail. I don't know anybody who's had it fail. And it's one of those things where, as an entrepreneur, if you're struggling for new business, get off your butt and do something about it, for starters.
Yeah.
If you know what to do, then go do that. If you don't know what to do, well, call me. I'll help you.
Yep. Amen.
Yeah.
And I know that you will.
Yeah, that's what it's about. I mean, it's a beautiful platform. It's a customer engagement platform, and we really do focus on referrals, retention, and new relationships for any business, and recognition, because it's a big part of network marketing and it's a big part of business. We have several companies that use it just for employee recognition, and onboarding of employees, any of that kind of stuff. Boy, it's been big.
Well, and you said, you said, sorry, a goofy comment just appeared. But you said to me yesterday that there, and I wasn't even aware of this, and I use the product. I'm part of the whole deal.
Right.
But you said yesterday that there's some automation sequences. How'd you word that? What's that called? Like I can add a contact to my phone and it triggers something, or
Right. Yeah. So usually, I use Banner Season in quite a few ways, but the most, the way I use it the most is this. I meet a lot of new people. Like every day I'm meeting somebody new for some reason. And what I do is I get my phone out and I open up, this contact manager, and I put in the person's contact, or I have them do it. And all I have to do is tag it, nice to meet you, and that executes, it triggers an event back at Banner Season to send them a card and a gift from me.
Wow.
And yeah, it is, you want to guarantee that somebody's going to call you back, respond to your email, your text. This is the way. You want to solidify a relationship. This is the way. It's not a text, it's not a phone call, it's not an email. Folks, we need to go back to what worked in the past. Old school.
Yep.
Get in people's mailboxes and out of their inboxes, because their inboxes, it's no bueno.
Yeah.
No way. Like even our cards. Yesterday I was going through my mail and, I started looking at, some of these cards that came to me. And one of these cards, I think I spent about $4,000 not too long ago on some furniture.
Yeah.
Well, the guy writes me a card and puts a real stamp on it. I'm like, that's for real.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. And that's, Banner Season, still using a real stamp, still looking to be old school, and do it the old fashioned way. Sometimes that's the hard way. And it's not the most cost effective way, because there's no break on stamps. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's postage, but there's no break on stamps.
You know what's interesting is I spent everybody knows who Grant Cardone is, and when he first came on my radar and I learned that he was this amazing trainer, I'm like, well, I gotta have this guy as a client. So I spent a couple $1,000 just putting my assistant on a plane, delivering custom bottles of wine to him and his wife, and it took a lot of effort and real spending money and that's one of the things. Like, I can send a card, and I've done it many times with Banner Season and a gift and some really cool stuff that you got whatever we put out, and man, like, it gets their attention.
Yeah,
It's
it does.
amazing.
It does.
And
And
for way less than a couple $1,000s,
absolutely, yeah.
right?
No comment in the number. No comment in the number.
Yeah, right. But so you, man, you have been through. First off, I think that it's amazing some of the things that you've accomplished in life. It's amazing. Second, thank you for your service. If I didn't say that already, and
Thank you.
and that's one of my regrets in life. One of my only regrets is I didn't go into the military. I was supposed to go in on the buddy system with my best friend, and I bailed and he went. I think he still hates me for that. But I think that you've accomplished some unbelievable things, and it doesn't mean, we all meet people that we go, boy, that Joe Kenemore, he is just one of the luckiest guys on the planet. Like, I mean, I think he was just born with the Midas touch,
Oh,
right?
no,
We all do that. We meet people. It's like, God, does this guy fail at anything? Has it just always been a multi-gazillionaire? And
oh
it's like,
God.
no, that's not the way it works, man, for anybody.
No, it's not. I'll tell you what, right now, banner season, we are different. And we're different. It makes it harder. It
Yeah,
makes it harder to not have an auto ship of things that people might not use.
yeah,
It makes it harder. When, you look at this whole thing and go, well, I don't want 10 reps to one customer. I
yeah,
want 7 reps or 7 customers to every rep.
yeah,
Starts to make more sense. I don't like auto orders. They just turn me off. And if I ever have one, somebody will be able to turn it off them damn selves or turn it on them damn selves. And I'm going to have to call somebody to do it.
yeah.
But no breakage in our comp plan. I have some really seriously hard things that we've worked through, to make this platform work. And I've had network marketers, shove their nose up at me and go, no, I'm not interested. You don't have an auto order. I'm like, what? Really? You don't you don't want to actually sell something that works
Yeah.
to somebody who use it. Oh, okay, I get it. But that's just who we are, and it has made it difficult. But one of the things I got to tell you that I really learned in life is this: service. Service is important. Service to others. Service to anybody. That time in the military. It's called service for a reason in the military. You serve your country and you serve your branch of the military. It is not about the money, and it never will be. And it ain't about the food either.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
what it is about serving your country and being patriotic and being able to, stand in opposition of an enemy. To just be that guardian on that wall. It doesn't matter. You are serving your country. And I really learned to serve after that. With a church. I served the youth for 20 years,
Wow.
and it was constant. I was a Boy Scout leader, and I constantly taught and went on campouts. And you're serving. You're not getting paid for that. You are
Right.
getting paid, but you're getting paid in the heart. And serving others. Is a noble cause to just be able to serve your customers. Think of that. When you're talking to a customer, how can I better serve this customer? It's not about getting money or getting a contract. It's about how can I serve them? How can I help them be better? How can I help their business be better? How can I help them grow? What is it that I can do to serve this person, this company, this customer? And I think that is such a big deal. I was able to teach that to my kids. There's a lot of things I didn't teach them. And one of the things that bothers me I didn't teach them was about money. But one of the things I'm really happy I taught them about was service. I had 3 of my 5 children served in the military.
Wow.
And one served, mission for church. And my kids are, they are service-oriented folks. It's how they were raised by their mother and myself. And, it's a beautiful thing to pass on. And I'm really, really, extremely happy that I was able to do that and pass that on to my children, because that is what it's all about. And, today I serve the entrepreneur. That's what I'm here for.
Wow, dude. That's incredible. So let me ask you, excuse me, let me ask you a question I ask everybody on the show. Um, this is about your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, What is it that you think holds most people back from success in life? And yes, I am talking financial, but I'm talking, you know, everywhere else. I mean, what's the, and obviously the number one answer is fear. But what in your opinion, what is it? What do you think it is?
Yeah, fear, anxiety, self-talk. There's all kinds of things that can put you in a bad frame of mind, an incapable frame of mind. There are times in life where I have struggled and failed. Most of it had to do with right here. There wasn't anything that was stopping me other than right here. I truly believe that here in the United States and a lot of other countries, opportunity is abound. It's about seeing the dollars on the street and being able to bend down and pick them up.
Yep.
That it's just the possibilities are absolutely endless here. I don't care who you are, if you're educated, uneducated, intelligent or dumb. It doesn't matter. If you've got the drive to go do something, then go do it. A lot of people have drive and they don't use it. And I think those are the people we're really talking about. For those in your audience out there, if you have drive and you have been holding yourself back, I only have this to say: get off your ass and do something.
Yep.
Stop thinking about it. Stop talking about it. Stop writing in your journal and just do something. I mean, that's what it's about. The doers are the winners.
Yep.
The ones who sit there and chat, nothing's happening for them, and it never will. I've started companies, and some have failed. Most have been very strong and won because I was engaged. I didn't stop, and I'm relentless when it comes down to it. When I see a vision, I am not stopping until I have succeeded and reached that vision. And I have partners with me now see the same vision I do, and what a wonderful thing that is. But as far as just fear, yes, it's just getting going and doing what you know you're capable of. You know you're capable of it. Stop messing around.
Yeah.
Stop underliving your potential. Go out and do what you know you're capable of. Go make your mama proud. Go make your kids proud. Go do something with yourself and stop messing around.
Stop scrolling. And I'm not. This is not a judgment. I've done this myself, where I spent 3 hours scrolling through Facebook looking for motivation, looking for that one meme that was gonna do it. Right? And it's like, dude, what the heck have you been doing for the last 3 hours? Get on the phone, make something happen, take some freaking action. And
seriously.
And again, and I've been there where it's 4:30 in the afternoon. It's like, I wasted a whole day. I didn't get anything done I wanted to get done. And you're like, well, I'll start tomorrow. Well, dude, it's only 1:30 on the West Coast. Pick up the phone.
Yep, that's it. I have a few little sayings around the house. There's one right on my nightstand. And basically it says, action trumps words every day of the week.
Amen, dude.
Amen. And that's, sometimes I need to see that when we all want to have our own time and do what we want to do. But sometimes, you just have to kind of go, I need a little reminder. I need a little pick me up this morning, and look at that and go, boy, that's right. Because if I'm not in action, nothing's happening.
That's right, man. That's right.
Nothing's going to go forward for you.
Well, Joe, you are you're one of the kindest human beings that I know. You do have an unbelievably positive energy and it's unbelievable. So, thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to be on here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love you, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
You're out helping people move forward. You're you're a conduit to people like me and everybody else and yourself.
Yeah.
You've been down this road too, and you're just trying to help guide. You're serving your community, and that's what it's about.
That's what it's about. Amen. I agree. Well, Joe, thank you so much. And where can everybody follow you? What's the best place?
That's a good question. Me and Facebook, we kind of get along.
We know not LinkedIn. Stay away from him.
I'm on LinkedIn too, but Facebook, personally, you can follow me on Facebook. I probably need to set up a different page, talk to a social media expert eventually, because I've kind of reached that friend limit, and I'm like, I don't know what to do now. And, anyway, I got to figure that out. Keep my personal life personal, my business life, business.
Yeah.
I probably do some separation there, but yeah, look me up on Facebook for sure.
Yeah.
So Banner Season, the Facebook page there as well, if you want to learn a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what code. If somebody wanted to use a code, what's your?
Mine's just Ken Walls, no space.
Okay, yeah. So if you need a code to get into a Banner Season, a free Banner Season account, use Ken Walls. Is that code, and that'll get you in. But yeah, awesome. I'm super happy you invited me. Yeah.
Dude, you're awesome, man. I appreciate you coming on, and I know it's early out there in Vegas right now.
A little early for me.
It's probably not very warm though. At least it's nice and cool.
Right. In my pool.
Yeah, right. I know. I lived there for 13 months. Ugh. Anyway, so listen, man. Thank you. Don't hang up on me yet on Skype, but I'm gonna end the Facebook Live. So thank you. I really appreciate you, Joe. Thanks for coming on, and thank you to everyone who's been on here and shared this out. Really appreciate it. Have a great day.